Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Nerd Haven podcast. This is episode 25. We hadn't actually been counting the episodes for Dexter, um, but we are 25 episodes. And talking about Dexter was pretty fun. But we are back with the MCU talk because we needed to do this. And today with me is John effing Aaron. John, how's it going?
That'll be me. Hello, I am doing good. I'm excited to finally talk about Captain Marvel because it's been a while since we talked anything MCU related, and I've been feeling the itch. M9 actually got me hooked on this franchise, and I've been rewatching it, and yeah, I've been enjoying it.
Do you, well, first of all, let's introduce our other guest, Light. We needed a bit of light in the darkness that's going to be this episode. Um, but I actually don't know how you feel about Captain Marvel, so we'll get there when we get there. How are you, Light?
I'm all right. Yeah, I can't wait to talk about Captain Marvel.
Nice. Are you tired?
I wasn't going to say that, but yes, I am tired. I'm sleepy.
I feel that. Well, right off the bat today, we're talking about Captain Marvel, which is one of the most, yes,
Polarizing?
sure. I don't even know how to say it. Polarizing is not even the right word because I think it was kind of mostly
Universally
negative.
hated.
Yeah. But let's start with John. How, I guess, you came on this journey of the MCU and there's been a lot of ups and downs for you. Your ups and downs have been a bit different than my ups and downs.
A bit.
You look for different aspects in movies that I usually don't gravitate to when it comes to these Marvel films. So I need to know, did you or did you not like Captain Marvel?
You already know the answer to that, M9. Just search your feelings. You know them to be true. Just ask yourself, do I like Captain Marvel? Hell no. You hate it. And for obvious reasons. So clearly I'm going to have to like it to at least a certain degree.
All right. So that's the conversation we're going to have today.
Yes.
John likes Captain Marvel.
I really
Why?
do. I like this movie because I really like Brie Larson.
Mhm.
I liked her ever since I saw her in Scott Pilgrim. I'm a huge fan of Scott Pilgrim franchise, and the movie Scott Pilgrim Against the World. I when I was watching, of course, the Captain Marvel movie, I had to go to YouTube immediately several times to just watch Envy Adams, sing Black Sheep. It was it was wonderful. And while I was googling the comments underneath that video, I noticed that. She was kind of praised for her like Captain Marvel performance, and I was happy to see that. But I also noticed that she wasn't the only MCU hero in the Scott Pilgrim franchise. There was freaking Chris Evans, and I've
Yep.
never freaking noticed until I saw those comments. Captain America himself. I immediately connected the voice. That was the main thing. Him playing Lucas Lee. What a wonderful freaking performance.
It was
And
so
I
great.
immediately respect Captain America even more. And I totally would like to think that I don't even know which movie like came first, if it was Captain America or Scott Pilgrim, but I would like to think that like he got his role for his Scott Pilgrim performance, even if my timeline is completely incorrect.
No, I think you might be right. I think Scott Pilgrim came first. I think it may have been sometime after Fantastic Four. Um, so I think that type of stuff happened, and then Captain America happened later on.
I see. And he's not even the only superhero in this movie. There is also the vegan police guy who goes after Todd, who Todd is wearing, of course, the Punisher t-shirt. And this guy that we will see is Thomas Jane, who played the legendary Punisher back in the day. Also a great movie, the one with Travolta.
Yeah, and I think wasn't Superman in it too?
Oh, which one?
Brandon Ruth or something, whatever his name is.
Maybe.
I don't
I'm not
really
quite sure. But still, I absolutely adore Scott Pilgrim Against the World, and that kind of created this unfair appreciation for Captain Marvel for me.
So you know what's funny? That while I agree on your praise of Scott Pilgrim, it worked the opposite for me because
Interesting.
I liked all those people and I like all those actors in that movie. I didn't like them in Captain Marvel. I don't think Carol Danvers is a likable character at all. I don't think she has any kind of like good personality. She is deadpan and boring. Um, and it's kind of shitty for Brie Larson because she's such a great actress. What about you, Light? Where does Captain Marvel fit in for you? Like, do you hate it or do you just kind of dislike it? Or
Okay, so when it first came out, I watched it. I was okay with it. I was fine with it. Um, because, sometimes when you watch a movie, you just kinda eat everything up, right? You don't really analyze it. You want to see, that comic book hero come to life. And of course,
Mhm.
seeing, um, other characters from the MCU being in this because I believe this is supposed to be sometime before I can't remember what it is. Um, and I did end up watching this twice. I tried to watch it a third time, and for some odd reason, it's like a whole new world for me. I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden I was finding myself being bored.
so
I
it's
started doing
no
things and
rewatchability.
yeah, it was weird. I mean, like I said, I watched it twice. Um, I think the second time was more of me trying to like spot, Easter eggs and all that stuff kind of thing. But her acting is awful. It's like you said, deadpan.
And I don't
I feel
even
like
think
she's
it's
also
her acting. I think it's the direction because she has the ability to do better. Like Brie Larson, I
mhm.
mean. But it's a character choice that she's just boring.
Yeah, and she also feels robotic.
Mhm.
Um, so that's when I watched, I don't know, maybe first 30 minutes of it or something like that. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've always heard other reviews and people saying that they did not like her acting. They didn't like
Yeah.
how she was portrayed. I've also heard people say that she's a bad actress. Uh, and I think it's like just one of those things. It's a hit and miss on what depends on what movies.
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
there's certain actresses and actors I like in the movie or TV show, but then all of a sudden I'm like, dude, I can't stand this. I can't watch this. I just can't.
Yeah.
So so yeah, that's
So John, because you're
me.
it seems like you're kind of the positive for this, I guess, discussion. I'm going to lay out some of the biggest issues that I have with this movie. And then I want you to just uh either debate with me or how you see it.
Go for it.
So first off is the lack of emotional depth for me with Carol Danvers. As I was watching this movie, it kind of felt like she she was like flat by intent. Like they made her emotionally distant, so that made me as a viewer hard to connect with her. Um and I don't think it ever changed throughout the entire movie. Then I would say the performance, but this I blame this on the writers, the directors. Um, it was too stoic. I feel too cold. Um, it she was always like suppressing emotion, and I think that again that just leads to like I can't make an actual connection with you as a character. I'm watching this movie, and I don't think I would care if you die, and that's not a good thing. When it comes to like a hero, the villain we've discussed villains multiple times in the MCU. They often fall flat because the movies focus on the heroes. But Jude Law's character was underwhelming. Um, the whole conflict with the Kree or whatever the hell it was, whatever. it didn't really matter to me. She felt too OP, but also I feel like she didn't need to train to grow into her powers. Like we saw Spider-Man, we saw Iron Man, we saw these people kind of fight and earn those abilities. For her, it didn't feel that way either. I think the movie suffered from pacing. Um, it was kind of boring, and that one scene where like the girls the girl empowerment song felt completely shoehorned in and forced. Um, and the movie itself felt like a filler for the MCU. Like they needed to put this movie in there just because we were gonna see her in Endgame. And yeah, and I think that's about it.
You certainly lay down a lot for me to work with, but I'll try to make some sense of it, or at least give you my perspective on some of those points. And I'll try to make it quick because I will not debate the merits of your criticism. I fully understand this movie has problems. I will be the first one to point them out, and I will definitely mention them as we go. But to tackle your very first point, the one that you and Light shared, I found the movie and her character to actually be a rather not exactly likable, but I could immerse myself in what she was going through because I'm a sucker for any kind of lost memory storylines, not knowing who you are, but knowing there is something more, something you're trying to retrieve, your identity, kind of being there almost within your grasp, but you kind of being pulled into different directions and then ending up in a situation where you just kind of, are almost forced to remember. And that is definitely a big positive for me because I love this trope. So is she deadpan? Is she overly stoic? Is she arrogant? Is she unlikable? Yes, but I attribute it to her circumstances. She feels like an alien in her own home with her own friends, family, and everyone around her knows who she is. She does not, and therefore they are treating her, as this alien, as this threat. They're all aware of her powers. She's aware of her powers. She knows that there is something different to her, but she knows that she's needed. She has a purpose, and she's playing along. But then, she has that mission. She encounters this alien race of shapeshifters who are, I believe, the Kree. Maybe not the Kree. I don't really know the names correctly, but we got the arrogant green aliens and then we have the shapeshifter, who turn out to be honorable, aliens, very friendly. And my biggest problem at the very beginning is just the fact that, this all could have been avoided if they were just honest with her immediately. And I understand, that they have trust issues and they are being genocidally murdered, by those people. So I can kind of suspend my disbelief with that. But I like the setup. I like where the movie took us. I like that she ended up on planet Earth and separated, from her quote unquote captives who were supposed to be her friends. And I like that she ended up in a freaking past, not too far. And we get to see freaking Nick Fury. And we got this buddy, cop duo comedy where she's this super freaking powerful alien lady punching grandmas. And I just find it very charming. I was just kind of laughing. I like the Stan Lee cameo, which I believe this was the first movie after his death, which was kind of heartwarming to me. And were there a few ridiculous moments like her freaking punching things with her mittens that obviously looked a bit stupid, her whipping her tongue on people. I can totally understand how nerds must be freaking raging at their screens, like, how is she able to do that? She's supposed to be something different. Are her powers completely OP? Yeah, she's totally Superman. Does it make sense for spaceships to exist when you can just explode power engines next to people and turn them into these powerful maniacs? No, it totally does not. But I could kind of immerse myself in it regardless. And despite the premise being kind of stupid and very light, that's not a pun, light, I apologize. Yeah, the movie kind of worked for me, and I even liked the fact that the aliens turned out to be honorable and friendly, and I totally cheered for them. I cheered for her. I feel like the time on Earth changed her to the better. She kind of warmed up from the inside, and the the kind of campy humor of like, there's a reason why it's called a cockpit girl, right? Yeah, girls, they belong in the kitchen. Come on, I make such stupid ass jokes all the time. So obviously this movie kind of played on my racist slash I don't even know, the part where you make fun of ladies but you don't actually mean it, because you yourself are as pathetic as those people that make those jokes. So yeah, that was kind of I don't know. I liked it. I liked her being smug. I liked the movie being at the time period it was. I liked seeing Nick Fury, and even though the movie kind of screwed a few things up, it kind of shot itself in the foot several times. Like with the cat freaking swiping Nick Fury's eye, that was just so unnecessary. And I can
So
totally
dumb.
understand all the criticism about this movie. I embrace it. I accept it. But despite the fact, this to me is like a feel-good movie where I can just turn off my brain for a bit and just kind of enjoy the ride. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so. Light, do you want to follow up?
I would say no. The cat was my favorite thing in the whole movie.
The goose!
Yep, that cat.
What a beautiful name for a cat.
Do you have anything else to say in regards to like any of his points?
No. I mean, everybody has their different point of view, especially with a movie like this. I mean, I remember back in the day watching X-Men, the cartoon, and
Mhm.
they had a little thing with at that time she was known as Miss Marvel, and
Right.
now they have the new Miss Marvel, and so I guess I was like excited to see that, but the one thing is that's also an X-Men thing versus the MCU.
Yeah.
So
So I understand like everything that you kind of explained it. It made sense in the way that you're seeing it.
mhm.
But for me this movie was such a huge step down from like what we've been through recently, like with Infinity War and leading up to Endgame and all that stuff is like how do we go from that quality to this? Um
Mhm.
and it felt it felt so unnecessary in the grand scheme of all. But when my wife and I actually did our rewatch of the MCU, we gave each other one movie to skip. She skipped The Incredible Hulk, and I skipped Captain Marvel. um, because there was just not a single bone in my body that was interested in seeing this movie again. There's really nothing in it that I was like that I would be like, "Oh yeah, that would be kind of cool to see." The humor with Nick Fury for me almost ruined Nick Fury. Um
Oh no.
I because I liked some of the humor that we had with him in like Avengers and some of these things like that, but then in this movie it did feel it felt like I was watching the movie Rush Hour but in the MCU. Like now Nick Fury is just kind of like a joke. He just got his eye scratched by a freaking cat. It's like but other than that, I yeah, there's just not a lot of enjoyment that I get from it. And it was probably I mean, I'll skip ahead and say it. I think it's my least favorite movie in the MCU, at least until the sequel comes out.
I definitely think that the movie could have been much better. I think it had potential. And I think that one of the biggest things that they could have done better was they didn't have to turn her into a god. Like, she does not really, she's not needed to be the Superman of this franchise. There are much better characters to have this role, to be the savior, that Nick Fury calls upon. I understand Marvel franchise, Captain Marvel, I guess it kind of makes sense, but this might be one of those cases where the franchise is actually kind of has written itself into a corner, I feel like a bit.
Yeah.
So I don't really
Well, I mean,
blame. Oh, sorry, go for it.
go ahead.
Oh, I was just kind of rambling. It's just we have so many superheroes, and this whole Infinity War / Endgame is just so messy, or it's starting to getting really, really messy. That certain cracks are kind of showing up, in the consistency and in the believability. At least mine.
I mean, the one thing is with Marvel itself, the whole comic book franchise, there are so many different abilities out there. And yeah, she would be considered, I think, an Omega or something like that. I can't remember what the terms are. Basically a powerful mutant or a powerful being.
So there's a
And
kind of
there's
Chopper ranking?
There
oh
kind
yeah,
of is,
there's
yeah.
rankings, yeah. And it really, really depends. And it goes, I think they mostly really do it for X-Men. Like I said, she is part of the X-Men world. And so yeah, she is very powerful, but there's other characters out there that are powerful just like her.
Yeah.
And they don't show it. They just scale it back. Or if you read into it, all of a sudden, somebody that destroy a world, blah blah blah. So yeah, to kind of show her abilities and who she is almost kind of like a teaser, and into like the next movie or next whatever franchise and stuff.
Yeah, I think the problem that John, I think, kind of nailed it when he said that they're writing themselves into a corner because we've seen this from the very beginning, right? Like from Iron Man and his Mark One suit, right? The stronger and the better the suits get, the worse the threats are. And I think as we go on and we start meeting stronger beings, we start meeting gods, we start meeting Omega level or Avenger level threats. It it starts be, it starts being a hindrance to the rest of the MCU, right? Like it was kind of interesting to go from like Avengers and all that stuff, and then to see a movie scale back and go to like Ant-Man and the Wasp, right? Which it's like it's a different type of thing, but it felt a bit more concealed for them. When you have someone that's cosmic like like Captain Marvel, it encompasses, I feel, a bit more than it should, and I think it's hard for that character to remain at that level for very long, and that's why they have to write her out for a lot after this, which sucks for the character, right? Like then she's like, "Oh, BRB AFK when the world's about to be ending, I'll show up at the last second." Like that's not a Brie Larson problem. That is an MCU problem. That they have to write her out or else they don't have a movie. So it's like
Thank you for so brilliantly expanding my shallow point. I couldn't have described it better. That is exactly what I meant, M9. And it is exactly the reason why I enjoyed Ant-Man and the Wasp the most out of all the MCU movies. I don't care if Ant-Man can fly through space and like shoot freaking spaceships with his laser beam. That's not what I enjoy about these movies. And I don't really blame Captain Marvel for sucking because of these reasons. I blame the MCU for just being so insatiable, this beast that just needs to constantly keep turning out these movies and constantly one up itself. It's like if you were balancing for a video game and you just you felt compelled to constantly giving players stronger and stronger weapons. Like, what are they supposed to be looking forward to next? Like, what are they supposed to
Man.
fight? What are the threats supposed to represent if
at
you
what
can just
point
one-shot them?
do you stop?
Yeah. I don't know if reset is the thing but like ever since I Well, there is a reason why I will have a few choice words to say when it comes to Endgame, and I'll leave it for that podcast. But
So
yeah,
I
for
love,
now,
yeah, I love the entire journey as an MCU. I love the cinematic universe, right? It's never been done to this type of scale. And I think that it worked really well when it worked. But
mhm,
for how long does it work, right? And I think sometimes the right solution is to just make disconnected shit. Um, like, why don't you just make a Thor trilogy? Why don't you just make an Iron Man trilogy or this and that? Um, sure, like they can mention each other, kind of like how Daredevil mentions a couple of things that happens in New York, but
yes,
nothing,
exactly.
nothing is circumstantial to Daredevil. It's all grounded for him. And I think that type of thing might be the better way to go about it because the more we do ensemble movies, the less satisfying they're going to be because we're just going to be seeing them over and over again. And the harder they're going to be to pull off. Um, and I think when like Black Widow came right after, I think Black Widow came way too late because Black Widow is a very grounded type of movie that we should have seen in phase one. not not
Yeah,
after Endgame.
Well,
I
they actually canceled it
Right.
during that time. Yeah. So it's I noticed that they're very picky and choosy and who to bring in, who to not bring in, and their storylines. And in the way, you know, we all understand it's a multiverse. We definitely
Right.
understand. That's why you got Daredevil who's doing his own thing and like you said, mention which I still haven't seen it, mentioning like some stuff, but they're in its own world. And that's why I keep almost bringing up X-Men because X-Men is everywhere.
guys,
And hmm,
What was that?
I'm sorry, but I have a very sudden urge to have a hot take. I think that the Black Widow movie that will be in the Phase 4 should have been positioned instead of Captain Marvel. I feel like it has a much darker tone. It would fit much better, and we would also
In
get
this slot, you
a
mean
little,
like right
yeah,
now?
in a slot. Like instead of Captain Marvel, we should have had Black Widow. I feel like it would also
Hmm.
fill in the blanks for Black Widow as the character. It would kind of solidify her even more and make her, whatever is going to happen to her in Endgame, even more
I
sad.
I
And
actually I agree. I think it would have been nicer to have the movie back when she was introduced, like after Iron Man 2. Um to get to know her a little bit better and then to see how she fits in with the team. But I think anytime pre-Endgame is where it should have been.
yeah. And I also think that it would be much cooler to see Captain Marvel for the first time in Endgame uh, if we never saw Captain Marvel the movie that
Holy
introduced
shit.
her.
Actually, I just got goosebumps for some reason. I think that would have been amazing. I
Right?
think that scene where she just kind of like blasts through the ship, and we'll talk about Endgame.
Mhm.
When she does that, if that was the first time we were seeing her, I think audiences would have flipped their shit.
Yes.
But
And
instead, we went, "Oh, that's where she is."
well, it is what it is. We can all, I guess, rewrite the history and make our own headcanons. But it's like, when we decided to start this journey with the Doctor Strange movie, because it made sense and there was our canonical
Canonical.
timeline.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a shame because for me, it like I said earlier, it's kind of the opposite of the effect that it had on you. I wanted to love this movie because I love Brie Larson. Because I think she's an awesome actress. But the material she was given and the character she was given was shit, in my opinion.
Yeah, I can understand it. Here is some of my other points, kind of on behalf of this movie, to hopefully sell it to you a bit more, or at least to kind of introduce why I appreciate it. I really like the soundtrack. I really like the, hearing garbage. I'm only happy when it rains. That's definitely a nice touch. The whole, let's show them boys how girls do it. that
Yeah.
was obviously a bit over the top. You have boobs, you're not a different species. Like it's not that much different. And I really liked the dynamic with Fury. I fully understand how you hated it. I like the inclusion of the Tesseract. It all kind of made sense.
Mhm.
Sometimes the connections between other characters and between other storylines in these movies are contributing. Other times they can be quite devastating. Like, at this point of the franchise, it is getting a bit too much. I think we can all admit that.
Yeah.
And the I really like the message of the movie. To me, it essentially tried to convey that we are only humans, but we have this indomitable spirit, with us, and it can lead us to greatness, especially if we stand too close to like a power source that explodes right in front of our faces and turns us into Superman, which still doesn't really make much sense to me. I kind of hate how at this point of the franchise, everyone's getting superpowers just by being in the right place at the right time and not really doing anything much for it. It's like
Mhm.
at least Daredevil, had to like I don't
Lose
know,
his
be
eyesight.
blind, for his entire life, and really had to learn and become who he is. And his powers are kind of pathetic compared to someone like Captain Marvel, who just took a nap and suddenly she's a superhero.
Yeah. I mean, if Daredevil didn't train to be who he is, his powers wouldn't do shit.
Yeah,
Like,
without
so
stick, without freaking uh, a lot of luck too.
he'd just be a
And
really
like,
good lawyer.
yeah, his church and like all the freaking cool. That is the coolest thing about Daredevil. The fact that he worked so very hard, and we could all see that throughout all those shows. And he struggled. He struggled a lot. That's the problem with Superman type of superheroes. I definitely
Yeah.
appreciate the more grounded superheroes in this
So,
regard.
like she gets compared to Superman a lot because of the OP-ness of it, right? But I think that Superman has something that she doesn't, and it's being grounded by his humanity. And Superman's weakness is the fact that he grew up human.
Right. He has something to lose.
Yeah, and his connection to his parents and his connection to being raised as a good old farm boy and blah blah blah, and wanting honestly to like protect the world gets manipulated all of the time, and I feel like I couldn't make that connection with her at all.
Yeah, she doesn't strike us as someone who actually like likes humanity all that much.
Right.
They try to kind of force us to think that through her connection with her other pilot lady and with the daughter and stuff, and it will
Yeah.
eventually become relevant like in the upcoming other like Marvel freaking movies. But
Which I think,
that's whatever.
are we going to stop at Endgame?
There are definitely some other movies and shows I would like to discuss, but we can discuss that later.
Yeah,
For now, let's discuss the merits of, or I guess the logic as to why all snipers must always be sexy, edgy, and slender.
All snipers?
Yeah, because this movie had that freaking sniper trope of that lady who was all of those things. And my favorite thing about her was not the shape of her ass. It was the moment when Brie Larson asked her, "You knew all along. Is that why we never hung out?" And she just replied, "No, I just never liked you." It was beautiful.
Yeah, and then we're all like, yeah, we can agree. She's not likable.
I felt like the movie kind of, I don't know, understood that this wouldn't be the most likable character. And I feel like they kind of went with it, rolled with it, and didn't really try to persuade us that, we should feel different. The movie did her no favors.
It
To
didn't.
Brie Larson.
Because I think it's like, and Light can chime in here. Like, for example, when you have somebody as, I feel like Bruce Wayne isn't very likable. When he's Bruce Wayne, because that's his mask, right? But we know why he's being Bruce Wayne. It's a disguise. So we can kind of relate in the sense that we know why he's the way that he is, even if he's not likable in public. But with her, it's like, why is she so stoic? What is like? Give me something else to connect to if she's not accepting me with open arms.
Indeed. And who the fuck is calling herself Carol? Like, that's not a superhero name. Okay, Carol.
You gotta think how old these comic books are.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the names come from. Especially like if you think, was it what they call this? Kree, whatever they call.
Yeah.
I was like listening. I was like, man, that's so 80s.
And when I think about it, I've never met anybody from my generation named Peter. It just doesn't happen. But it's back from Peter Parker was a thing way back in the day.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, we can certainly discuss or totally skip all the other Spider-Man movies, that are ahead of us. But that's again a story for another time.
Yeah. Well, Light. Anything else you have to say about? I was gonna say Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel.
I
How
still
would you
like
make the movie better, Light?
different actress.
Just different actress. That would kind of
I
fix
don't-
a lot of things for me.
I don't think that would fix the problem for me, because I don't think like you have an Oscar-nominated actress playing this role, and if she can't do it, then nobody can. I don't think you could
Well,
have given this script to anybody, and they would have made it better.
I mean, that's the key thing. She's an actress. So she could have made the actress more likable.
No,
Or
because an actor does their job, and the director tells them what to do. So, like, the director gets a performance out of an actor that they want for their movie.
Oh, I know.
So
I
I
know.
blame it on them. I blame the script and I blame the director for her being so stoic. Because if you see her in Scott Pilgrim, she can deliver humor. She can deliver like a bitchy, stoic or what do you call like resting bitch face. She does it well.
Like a bad girl energy,
Yeah. So it's just like I don't think another actress would have done better unless they adapted the script to that actress.
There was definitely some disconnect.
Most actors and actresses would study. They do a study of whatever thing that comes up. If it's like a historical movie, if it's something from a book and all that stuff,
Yeah, prep.
it could be a chance that she didn't prep for it.
I don't see that being true. When you have something as big as the MCU that's never missed when it comes to casting, they chose her to play this role just like how she played it. It was their fault. Like, I don't think anybody that's been like casted or whatever, I'm like, oh, she didn't, like, she could have done that differently.
Like, who would be your dream casting for that role? Just out of curiosity, something that would fit actually, this movie, or even like your best interpretation of that character. Do you have like anyone in mind that would knock this out of the park, or at least you would like to see in this role?
I would definitely have to think on that.
Yeah, I'm sorry for putting you on the spot. Like,
That's
I
a good
wouldn't be able to
question,
come up
though.
with anyone better.
Or like if you can think of a different type of character that you would have liked to see her be more like.
Like, would you prefer someone expressive, someone who's like more over the top, or maybe even more stoic, perhaps like a classical actor, or I don't know, someone who's really good at playing bad guys, or someone who's just very likable,
I think even though even though she's in the MCU already, I think I would have liked Florence Pugh as Miss Marvel. I mean, as Captain Marvel. But she might be a bit like short and small for the role, but I think she would have had a lot more range to play out. my problem, like I said before, is like my problems with the character. I feel like she should have been either lean into being sarcastic a bit more, but with like the wink and the smirk type of thing, um, or uh, lean into being vulnerable a bit more because I I just I couldn't connect with the character.
I asked ChatGPT just out of curiosity, and here is the top 10 that ChatGPT gave me in no
Ooh,
particular order.
okay.
We got Emily Blunt. She has the range for action,
Oh
Edge of
yeah,
Tomorrow, Sicario, charisma and presence. Many fans already
she was actually
fan
supposed to
cast
play
her.
Black Widow originally.
For strong female leads. Okay, okay. Then we have Charlize Theron, experienced in action like Mad Max, Fury Road, Atomic Blonde. Commanding screen presence could bring depth and intensity.
Mhm.
Jessica Chastain, elegant yet fierce, with the acting chops and naturally authority to embody Carol Danvers. Fucking Danvers is even worse than Carol.
Fucking
Then we have Ivona Strahovski from Dexter. That is interesting.
that is an interesting choice.
Yeah. Freaking Hannah McKay. Then we have Katie Sackhoff. I don't even know that one.
She's from
Battlestar Galactica.
Battlestar Galactica, yeah, and she's
Oh, she the hot blonde.
she's in The Mandalorian as well.
Oh, that is interesting. I like her. Rosamund Pike from Gone Girl. I don't think I know that one. Rebecca Ferguson. Don't know that one either.
Rebecca Ferguson, yeah, she'd be great. She's in the show Silo and The Greatest Showman.
Gwendolyn Christie. Don't know that one either. Evangeline Lilly and Catherine Winnick. Don't know these at all.
They actually considered, the producers considered Katie Sackhoff
Katie Sackhoff, yeah.
to play for the role, but they gave it to Brie.
Interesting. Yeah, I think it's cool because Katie Sackhoff, she plays the character. She voiced the character of the character she's playing in Mandalorian. So it was cool that
Mhm.
her age matched up so that she could actually play the live action.
Mhm.
But yeah, I see myself plucking Brie Larson out and just putting anyone in there, and I still don't think I would like the movie. Um, but if I had to say, I would probably appreciate maybe more like a Lara Croft type of character, that is like charming but also kind of serious and stoic in a way. But without the like overly sensual stuff. um, but something more like that, I feel like would have been better because there were some scenes I think in Captain Marvel that I think if they would have leaned a bit more to that side of her personality, I think it would have worked a bit better. But I think it was a bit inconsistent with how she was.
I think that this movie suffers from the simple fact that MCU gave us so many better female protagonists to cheer for. One of which, perhaps my favorite, being, of course, Elizabeth Olsen's portrayal of Wanda Maximoff. Like, it is incomparable how much better Scarlet Witch is as a character as she grows, especially after watching her, throughout the movies and then seeing WandaVision. I absolutely adore the character, and Captain Marvel, I'm sorry, is just a device. She's not really a character. She's just like, yeah, it's like a cool movie, but that's it. I like in all the other movies where she appears to me, she's just like a Deus Ex Machina. She's just something that gets she's basically a weapon. She's not really a character to me in the other movies.
Yeah, that's a very valid argument. Actually, I didn't really think about that, and that probably has to do a lot why I didn't like that. I didn't like her in the movie, and a lot of the things that I'm like, I feel like her character sucked or whatever. sounds like I hate it because it's a female led movie, and like you couldn't be more wrong. I didn't like the way they handled her character, um, but there's so many other characters like what you just said that were fleshed out and done so much better, female characters, that when we get this, we're like, oh, that felt a little empty.
Yeah, very empty. Wasted potential, wasted opportunity, but at this point, the franchise is just so vast and it's such a
Grasping
beast.
at
It's almost
straws.
impossible, to handle. And yeah, it's just a device to get us into the end game. And yeah,
Mhm.
that's basically where we're heading next.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you, I'm not sure if we'll ever discuss the Marvels, but I'll tell you right now. Um, I like that movie maybe a little bit more than this one, and the reason is because of Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris, Jesus. Uh, because
Is
of
that
Miss.
the presidential candidate?
Yeah, that was the presidential. Because of Miss Marvel, because I actually kind of liked her as a character. I liked her a lot more than Captain Marvel, to
Donald
be
Trump?
honest. She was the only redeeming quality in the Marvels for me, and then it was all ruined by the Singing Planet.
I could not finish that abomination of a movie. I just watched it for 3 minutes and I ended it.
But
Never came back.
yeah, any finishing thoughts, John? Light?
Miss
No.
Light? Nothing?
Mm-mm.
I rarely ever say this, but I have nothing more to say. I said enough, and I thank you for this opportunity to discuss this movie because I was really looking forward to this. I was genuinely curious to hear the opinions of those who absolutely hated this movie, and I had some thoughts, I had some suspicions, but I'm kind of glad that maybe I did this on purpose, to just be a contrarian. But I, of course, was aware of the criticism of this movie, and I tried to approach it with an open mind, to not hate it, to not immediately close it, and just, read a recap or something. And I'm glad I gave it a chance. I liked it for what it was. I was able to suspend my disbelief. I was able to enjoy it. No matter if it was the first time or the second time I watched it, and it doesn't change my opinion on Brie Larson at all. I really like her. I enjoy Scott Pilgrim Against the World even more because of it. I love the fact that she came back to narrate the animated one afterwards, and along with the entire crew. And yeah, this just makes me want to watch Scott Pilgrim again.
Yeah. I'd watch.
One of the few comics I actually read
I-
several times.
You read? I never did. And isn't there an animated series of Scott Pilgrim as well?
Yes, there is. I watched it. It's great.
Yeah, that movie's great.
Next podcast, Scott Pilgrim.
If you want to see Brie Larson in some like top tier acting, watch the movie Room. It's a very dark movie, but
Oh, okay.
that she got
Wait, with Tommy Wiseau?
with whom?
Room.
No, that's The Room. This is
okay.
just Room. And it's a very dark movie. The kid is amazing in it, and she's amazing in it. She got nominated for Best Actress in that. But yeah, thriller mystery. It's a good palate cleanser to the character she played in this movie.
Oh. Well, I'm sorry that you guys were forced to be confronted with your nightmares.
I actually haven't seen this movie since I watched it in theaters. The only MCU movie that I haven't seen more than once.
So this is your Spider-Man.
Maybe, yeah. Actually, the Marvels I haven't seen more than once either.
Gotcha. Well, I guess Light kind of tried to watch this movie 3 times, which makes her the biggest authority on this movie because I only watched it twice.
She's the biggest fan.
No. I said I tried so I can like remember it. And then,
what was the time separation between the first, second, and third time?
When did that movie come out?
Oof.
2019.
19.
Okay. So probably like when I first watched it, probably around that time, when it came out, like whatever.
Mhm.
And then maybe another. Oh, I would say probably a couple years
For the
later or
second time?
so because I went through what you guys are going through. I went and watched them in order.
Oh, I see. You didn't watch
Mhm.
this in theaters though, did you?
Oh, hell no. No.
I did because I have a problem. But
It's not a problem, man. It's a very endearing quality, okay?
yeah. Um
And
yeah,
for you, the cinema is kind of like a social experience, right? You kind of enjoy
yes.
it with others. You take into account the reaction of the audience.
Although
It's not
that
just
used
like
to
a
be more of
private.
a thing in Florida because the audience over here is usually me, my wife, and maybe 3 other people. So it's
So it's
just
like a
like
date night movie, or
yeah,
like a
it's a
date night
date night movie.
experience.
And the fact that me and my wife like would kind of discuss or analyze a movie like the entire drive home. Um, sometimes by the time that we get home, we feel different about the movie than we did as soon as we left the theater. So it's a cool experience. We did not feel different about this movie though. But anyway, that's gonna be it for us. Thank you guys for hanging out. And next we will have Endgame. And
Finally.
I think that we're probably going to take a break from some of the NCU movies after that. We want to talk about some of the shows. I don't know how many of them John has watched, but we
All
definitely
of them.
all of them. Nice. So we definitely want to discuss some of those, and maybe we'll just kind of cherry pick some of the movies to talk about. What do you think?
Yes, here is the kind of movies that I would like to discuss.
Okay.
And we can also, don't worry, I'm not going to make you watch Iron Fist. I understand that it's not a movie for you and
I
you
will
never
watch
forced
it
me.
if you want me to debate it.
Okay. At least the first series, I think you would. You know what? I would
There's more than
honestly.
one season of Iron Fist?
Yes. There should have been 3, but they canceled the third one.
Yeah,
The
they
bastards.
did.
Fucking assholes. The biggest injustice in the MCU universe. But that's besides
The
the
show
point.
that has 20% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I will watch it with you, M9, and we can do like live reactions
Oh
because
yeah.
I adore that freaking show so much. It's one of my favorite. Like, I prefer it to Loki.
So you don't want to do live reactions of Game of Thrones, but you want to do live reaction of Iron Fist. All right.
Yes.
All right.
It's amazing. I adore it. You can have control over my webcam and just freaking watch me the entire time, just laughing my ass off because I feel like you don't believe me whenever I say that I adore that show. It's amazing.
You're hyping it up. I'm excited then.
So awesome. So that's like the TV shows. That is what I want to watch. WandaVision. Sorry, what? Want to discuss WandaVision? Obviously.
Definitely.
Loki show. We can
I
absolutely discuss it.
love that one.
Oh, perfect. Then you are absolutely invited to. You're a big fan of Scarlet Witch, I presume.
Yeah, I watched that 5 times. So
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Big authority. Yeah.
yeah,
it
because
is.
I got theories.
Yeah, WandaVision
Oh.
has to be discussed. Because I don't think I've ever been more wrong about a show in my life.
Mm.
And even Agatha All Along, we can probably discuss that later on.
Oh, that's a good one too.
Never watched it, but love the character from WandaVision.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if
might.
you like WandaVision, you'll like Agatha. But yeah, Loki, definitely we have to talk about it. Very important.
And at least
character.
Daredevil and Punisher, I feel like those deserve. And of course, if Iron Fist, at least like a little section about it and my adoration, unhealthy adoration for the show. I would like
Probably
to,
not Defenders though.
We can at least have like a small little section about
Okay. We can have an others podcast.
Yes. The filler podcast.
The filler podcast. 5 minutes discussion on every other thing we haven't talked about.
You know what, M9? I feel like
Speedrun.
at times like these, I need to be fair and we need to do a trade. I will watch a movie you want me to watch and you will watch a TV show I want you to watch.
All right.
I
I will watch
like
season
Spider-Man
1
or
of
something.
Iron Fist if you watch season 1 of Game of Thrones.
Deal.
You
Although
heard
I
it.
think
Clip it.
you have less episodes in Game of Thrones than you have in Artemis. All right, but that's the deal.
All right, deal indeed. But yes, after that, we have a few movies. I would like to discuss the second Doctor Strange movie
Oh, yeah.
after WandaVision. I will have a lot of things to say about that. I will have a lot to
Likewise.
say about Endgame, of course. And Black Widow, we can probably skip or just do a very quick session about it.
Yeah, I feel like
Up
I
to
already
you.
said whatever I needed to say about Black
Yeah,
Widow.
like it's a fun movie. It's like 6 out of 10 for me.
It is,
you know,
yeah,
like
it's not
one
bad.
of those. Yeah, I did enjoy Lawrence Pugh in it. She's wonderful ever since. I, for the first time, watched her in Oppenheimer, and she was just so like enchanting in that role.
She's
a wonderful
freaking
character.
great in anything she does.
Indeed. And we could discuss the Spider-Man where he's in Prague for some reason.
Oh,
You know,
yeah. No, we have
I don't
to
know
we
which
have to
one it
talk
is.
about Spider-Man. We can talk about Spider-Man as a whole if you like
Yeah,
all of the movies, one podcast.
we can. And Thor: Love and Thunder, I'm honestly just fine skipping because I kind of hated
Yeah,
it.
let's just skip that for the sake of everyone.
Wakanda Forever is just like there is. It's only, you know what? We can skip it, but I have to say something about Wakanda Forever because it's obviously very sad. You know, because that movie could not really continue with having the main protagonist because he unfortunately died. You know, because of cancer, I believe.
Right.
But despite this horrible tragedy, whenever I first watched it, whenever they essentially did the in character like commemoration of him, you know, for being buried, and the first thing I did was I went to YouTube and I had to search if there was like a one of those coffin dance memes with like him and that stupid ass song that always
my
plays with like
God.
the bunch of black guys like dancing with the coffin.
No.
And yes, there was a bunch of those. I wasn't the only one who looked it up, and like it was the most tasteless joke I could ever think, but I was just so curious if someone actually did it, and they did. Those absolute maniacs. YouTube is freaking filled of those.
Yeah.
It's very sad.
And
but
if you were a content creator, you'd be one of them.
yeah,
I for Wakanda Forever, I don't think I loved the movie a lot, but boy was I a wreck during that scene because
Yeah.
my brother had passed
Mhm.
away that same year. And
sucks.
that scene, oh my God, just fucking wrecked me.
Yeah, it's a very in that way it's a very sad movie, and I did kind of like it. You know, I liked Namor. I liked how kind of imaginative it was with the whole underwater, race that was.
Yeah, I thought it
essentially-
was cool. I have problems with some of the Black Panther movies, but not problems like Captain Marvel problems.
I liked it more than the first one, the Wakanda Forever.
I think I did as well. Yeah.
Can tell that much. And
Except
then
for her, like Shuri, I didn't think she could carry the
No.
movie. It's not a her problem. I just,
she tried her best, but yeah,
she tried her best.
I think they just should have gone with someone different, in that role, just someone new, and they should have just taken it from there.
Yeah, I think they considered, what's his face again, but he had already died. So,
Yeah. Well,
uh,
and then I would love
Well,
to
they had to
discuss.
change it because of that reason. And they were talking about who should be next Black Panther, and
Yeah.
they started like naming off the actors that were in there and stuff.
yeah, no.
Yeah.
So I was talking about Michael B. Jordan. They were thinking about bringing him back. But
Oh yeah.
that would have retconned some of the stuff from the first one, or like you would have had to
It-
jump into multiversal stuff or bring him back.
All they had to do is multiverse.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, fuck
he's
my
still
face
alive.
with multiverses.
But they weren't quite
He's
there
still
yet,
alive
so
in the
it
comics.
would have ruined their
Mhm.
plans.
Indeed. And we need to discuss Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. I need to discuss that one. And
We
Guardians
definitely need
of
to talk about
Galaxy.
that one.
Volume 3 is actually my last movie that I believe I watched. After that, I didn't really watch anything else. Because that one, Wolverine, but I watched it before, even the MCU
Yeah,
Adventures.
but that's
But
kind of
after that, I
disconnected
was
in its
done.
own way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that that's gonna do it. We just kind of rambled there, and that was just like us hanging out.
Yeah, just cut it off.
just
No one is doing
I should have stopped recording. But thank you guys for listening, and we will see you all next time for episode 26, which will be Endgame. Peace.
Hell yeah. Boy.
Adios.